Yep, no question. Attitude and effort matter. I mean, they always do. No question about it. No question.
We gotta teach our kids that.
Yep.
I don't care if you fail. Give me some.
So I'm delighted to be here this afternoon with both Ryan and Paul Herman, and it's a pleasure to be here. There's a lot of energy. You haven't even picked half up before we started to roll here. There's a lot of energy, a lot of humor, and a tremendous commitment, not only to this business, but to this region overall. So what I'd like to do is maybe if you just take a minute or two and just talk a little bit about your personal backgrounds. I know you're both natives of the Bronx.
That's cool.
So talk a little bit about, what school was like, what got you to move, what caused you to move from the Bronx up here, but just talk a little bit about who you are in terms of your background.
Okay, well, that's a lot right there.
Well, I know, it's going an hour and a half. That's fine.
I like that. Brian and I were from the South Bronx, born and raised. We're Caribbean background. Both our father is St. Lucian from Castro, St. Lucia, and our mother's from Jamaica, Portland. You know, so we have a Caribbean background. We grew up in with a Caribbean mindset of just working hard and just being disciplined and things along those lines. But growing up in the South Bronx, I went to Catholic school. Our parents tried to really provide that opportunity for us. I went to high school out there, All Hallows High School, in which I graduated from, and then I went on to Sacred Heart University.
Here in Fairfield.
Yep, that's correct. Brian, what's up with
you? Obviously from the Bronx, New York, and I went to Catholic school, but believe it or not, I was able to transfer to a public school due to the fact that I have a disability.
Okay.
Which is, I was born normal, but I have meningitis when I was 1 year old. So I completely lost the left side of my head.
Wow.
Which is I'm hard of hearing.
Right.
So mom and dad try to provide the best services and in terms of sign languages, interpreter and stuff like that. So all that supportive services where they believe they wanted me to go.
Right.
And then from there I went to John F. Kennedy High School, which I had a very good program for disability kids as well, resources and stuff like that. Then I went off to college to RIT, which is located in Rochester, Connecticut.
Yep.
Which was good.
Rochester, New York, my man.
Rochester, New York.
Wow.
I was going to say there was a new town I hadn't even heard of. I got to go cover Rochester, Connecticut.
Rochester, New York, yeah. And I stayed there for a year, and I realized I think I needed something more.
Yep.
And I went to Hofstra as well too.
Oh, you went to Hofstra, yep.
Yeah, and I majored in civil engineering. And then once you know it, before we start talking about it, we're going to talk about it, which is we moved on with dance.
Yep.
And that's when everything started, and then everything picked up. But I was able to transfer again to Fairfield University, which I graduated last year. Which they have a very good supportive program for disability kids as well too, and I graduated last year.
So just as you go, talk a little bit about how did you each get involved in dance? And I want to segue obviously into talking about the company and the business, but how did you both get into dance initially?
Growing up in the South Bronx, I feel like one thing that they really try to push on a lot of the students, as they do everywhere, it's just get involved.
Yep.
I mean, we grew up in an era where hip hop was arising. South Bronx, that's where hip hop comes from.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we were in an era of time where you could see people pulling out a cardboard box and just busting out some steps, and you would be like, what is this, right? And one thing about dance that we appreciate and over time we have grown to love even more is the fact of the connection.
Right.
When you see people move, it makes you want to smile. It makes you want to dance. You're intrigued. You're like, I might not be able to do it, but that looks cool, right? And we originally started dancing in front of like McDonald's, dancing on the train, dancing at local social events such as barbecues and stuff. And people were like, wait, you guys are pretty good. You should make a name or something, do something with it. And we were like, I don't even know what to call us. So we started to think of these weird names to call ourselves. We wanted to have a nice tag name, but it just didn't fit us. And then we did some research, and at the time, there was an artist by the name of Mace. He came out with Bad Boy, with Puff Daddy, and Biggie Smalls at the time, rest in peace to Biggie. He actually came with an album, and the album was called, believe it or not, Double Up.
Double Up?
Yeah, it's called Double Up. Now, the reason why we chose the word Double Up to kind of, one, it's two of us, we're brothers.
Exactly.
Everything we do, I think in life, anything you do, you should want to double it up, right? Why get $1 when you get 2? Right? I'm saying, why get 1 house when you can have 2, right? Not saying you got to do that for everything now.
No, there's probably something you don't want to do.
You gotta cut over, you know. But it was just one of those things. We were like, you know what? Double up is where it's at. And the reason why we chose Mace, and then Brian had given to you a little story about how we started dancing a little bit more, but Mace. At the time, the rap game was all about like Timberland boots, the baggy hoodies, the baggy sweatpants. It was just, but that's what's hip hop. That's where hip hop grew up. Mace on his album came out with a tuxedo. He was the first rapper we saw at the time to take his album covers versus like popping bottles and driving nice cars. He was like, I'm gonna wear a tux. He looked like he was going to prom. And we sat there looking at this album, we were like, he's different. He's changed the game. Rap is not the same without Mace doing what he just did. And we were like, we need to do the same. And ever since then, we've been doubling up. Every city, every town, every block, every country, every continent, we're gonna double up.